Johnny Carson's interview plus Sharon Gless's Stalker. Next ET.
Tonight, warnings of a possible civil war in a former Soviet republic after a presidential election there is called a fraud. He blew the whistle on drug safety failures at the FDA. Now he tells CBS News why he fears reprisals. Violent weather heading into the holiday weekend, and Americans could face other travel headaches as well. And a creature of the sea loses its way, but some good neighbors come to the rescue.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. A political crisis that could threaten the stability of Eastern Europe is deepening. So far, there's been no violence in the former Soviet Republic of Ukraine, but its Moscow-backed government and its opponents are taking ever harder lines about Sunday's disputed presidential election. Today, the United States publicly questioned the legitimacy of that election. And CBS's Richard Roth reports in Kiev, Ukraine's capital, angry protesters are holding their ground.
With thousands of supporters standing in the snow, Ukraine's opposition leader dug in his heels. Viktor Yushchenko threatened to send out his followers across the country to shut down factories, schools, and transport with a strike. That came after a government commission today officially declared him the loser in Ukraine's bitterly disputed presidential election, a verdict denounced by a chorus of Western capitals, including Washington. Secretary of State Powell warned Ukraine's risking consequences to its ties with the West.
We cannot accept this result as legitimate because it does not meet international standards and because there has not been an investigation of the numerous and credible reports of fraud and abuse.
Ukraine's ruling party has rejected the West's criticism as interference. The government's position is that Viktor Yanukovych, backed by Moscow and pledging to keep close ties to Russia, is now officially president-elect. And as a spokesman put it, the West will have to come to terms with that. But there's worry the conflict that's highlighting Europe's old divisions between East and West now runs the risk of turning violent. The government's offered to open talks with the opposition, but has put no proposals on the table. Yushchenko's urged supporters to avoid radical action, but he's not telling them to quit. And neither side's certain if there's time left for compromise or if the next step's confrontation. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
A U.S. diplomat working with Iraq's education ministry was shot and killed today in Baghdad. West of the capital, U.S. Marines searching Fallujah reported finding, quote, stunning quantities of weapons, enough for a countrywide guerrilla war. And CBS's Lee Cowan reports a terrorist who'd love to have those weapons issued an angry new audio tape.
It was an uncharacteristic show of emotion from Iraq's most wanted terrorist. A furious Abu Musab al-Zarqawi ranting not against America, but at Islamic clerics. "You've let us down," he cried. "Hundreds of thousands of the nation's sons are being slaughtered at the hands of the infidels because of your silence." He went so far as to charge some Muslims with trading their faith for Western riches. "You chose your wives, your properties, and your children," he said accusingly. "You're idle and cozy." The criticism was aimed at religious clerics who, al-Zarqawi says, have pushed the ballot box instead of bullets and bombs. The Shiite Supreme Leader, Grand Ayatollah Sistani, even started a poster campaign suggesting Iraq's muscle should only be flexed at the polls. "If you don't vote," this man says, "you will harm Iraq." Zarqawi's angry message seems as much of a shout against Muslim clerics as it is a call for help. And that's being read in some circles as a hint that the U.S.-led offensive in Fallujah may have dealt a more serious, deeper blow to his terror network than he's willing to admit. Backed into a corner, some fear the more desperate insurgents get, the more dangerous they will be. Another roadside bomb hit a U.S. military convoy today, and more bodies were discovered in Mosul, bringing the total to 20 there in the last week, most thought to be members of Iraq's security force. But the squeeze continues. There were additional raids south of Baghdad. Commanders say U.S., British, and Iraqi troops are taking a more targeted approach than they did in Fallujah and have rounded up crime families who've been supplying the Zarqawi network with arms. Another way to cut the insurgents off, even as they're on the run. Lee Cowan, CBS News, Baghdad.
2 U.S. Army soldiers were killed today and a third was wounded in central Afghanistan. Their convoy was hit by a bomb near a remote town about 250 miles southwest of Kabul. In all, 110 U.S. troops have been killed in Afghanistan since November of 2001. In Washington, most of Congress left town, but left behind enough members to pass a stopgap spending bill to keep the government running for now. Left undone is the big spending bill to fund the government. As usual, the bill is loaded with benefits for all kinds of lobbyists and special interests. CBS News Chief White House correspondent John Roberts has the bottom line on what's holding up final passage. John?
Dan, critics are shaking their heads over what's going on in Congress. Lawmakers are approving billions of dollars in spending without, apparently, knowing just what they're voting for.
As Congress met to keep the government from running out of money, Democrats today vented their frustration over a budget process they say is out of control.
The Congress has egg on its face. The majority is disgraced.
In fact, both sides are in disbelief that they passed, without knowing it, a provision that would give congressional workers access to individual income tax records. If one Senate staffer hadn't caught it, it would be law by now.
We ought to be happy that the other body saved us from a massive embarrassment.
So how did it happen? As they do almost every year, Congress took all the unpassed spending bills, 9 this year, and rolled them all into one enormous measure. Somewhere in that process, the tax provision slipped in. In a rush to get home for the holidays, Congress voted on the bill only hours after it was finished.
Nobody's reading the bill. Nobody knows exactly what's in there. And so you're going to find all sorts of little provisions like that that are going to pop up for the next couple months as we continue pouring through the bill.
And it's not just the tax measure that got jammed into the bill.
I'm going to talk about a number of the provisions that are some are fairly entertaining.
It's loaded with pork. Coveted home district projects like money for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, $200,000 to control Canada geese in New York, $2 million to buy back the presidential yacht Sequoia. And there are others.
What is the charter of the Norwegian American Foundation that they need $1 million of my taxpayers' money?
Well, at first blush, you do laugh. It's titillating, to see money going to a B.B. King museum or asparagus research or potato storage. But then after that, you start crying.
Democrats charge that none of this was by accident. They claim that Republicans held back until after the election a number of provisions they knew wouldn't pass muster, then rammed them through, hoping no one would notice. Dan?
John Roberts reporting live from the White House. Thanks, John. The FDA drug safety expert who took a chance and publicly questioned whether his superiors were doing a good job protecting the public from dangerous drugs may need some protection now to keep his job. CBS's Cheryl Atkinson has spoken one-on-one with the whistleblower who fears the FDA could be trying to blow his career.
A week after his blockbuster testimony to Congress exposing the FDA's drug safety failures, FDA scientist Dr. David Graham says he fears retaliation.
Do you think your position is in jeopardy?
Oh, of course. I was afraid of that from before all of this.
Graham says his own sources indicate he may get transferred to an FDA job where he can't influence drug safety issues. What landed him in hot water was his testimony about FDA lapses monitoring the arthritis drug Vioxx. Vioxx may have caused 160,000 heart attacks and strokes. Before the drug company pulled it, the FDA was still defending it. Graham also flagged 5 other drugs with supposed safety issues. Since then, his own bosses have labeled his research junk science. And in a strange twist, a group that protects whistleblowers says FDA management called their office pretending to be Graham's colleagues and attempted to discredit him. Today, Senator Charles Grassley asked the agency's inspector general to investigate. The FDA says it, quote, does not condone any form of employee retaliation and has clearly not discouraged David Graham's ability to offer his personal opinion in any public forum he chooses. Graham says his primary concern is getting the FDA back to where it should be.
What does the FDA seal of approval mean these days?
I think the FDA seal of approval means that the drug probably works to some extent, but that its safety is largely unknown.
Senator Grassley says he'll introduce legislation to strengthen the FDA's drug safety role, which Graham and others say takes a backseat to efforts to get new drugs on the market. Dan?
Thanks. Cheryl Atkinson reporting live from our Washington bureau. Yet another U.S. government auditor is calling on the military to withhold some payments to the Halliburton Company for its work in Iraq amid accusations of war profiteering. Investigators are looking into whether Halliburton overcharged taxpayers and whether the company, once headed by Vice President Dick Cheney, was shown favoritism when it was awarded billions of dollars in no-bid contracts. Halliburton says it is trying to, quote, resolve the contract disputes. Coming up next on the CBS Evening News, Thanksgiving travel. It's expected to be very heavy this year. We'll have for you a holiday weekend forecast in tonight's Inside Story. Later, who hasn't gotten lost once in a while? This seal pup took a wrong turn. Wait till you see where it ended up. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes. Gregory Huxley. He loved the outdoors, especially snowboarding. Huxley was a caring person who liked to help others. He joined the military because he thought he could help make the world a better place, especially for children. He loved children. When Huxley was killed by enemy fire, his mother said she lost her special child.
The holidays seem to go by in a flash. So this year, make every moment you spend together last a little longer with 2 coffees special enough for your holiday table. Warm, nutty Maxwell House Hazelnut, and now even bolder Maxwell House French Roast with the exclusive Fresh Seal. So go ahead. Make every moment and every holiday good to the last drop.
Women. They want to be strong and sweet forever. And they want to enjoy their calcium. One delicious Viactive Soft Calcium Chew twice a day has the calcium women need. Viactive. It's what women want.
We try to do a lot of things before we succeed. That's why we keep trying. Maybe all the times you tried to quit smoking before were just practice. Maybe you just needed the right help. Like the Commit Stop Smoking Lozenge. Commit is proven to help even those smokers who've tried to quit before. Commit works fast to help control cravings, and it keeps working even after the lozenge is gone. The 4 milligram Commit lozenge actually doubles your chances of quitting. The Commit lozenge. Real help, real hope.
Hey guys, look!
Heartburn on rye.
We're working through lunch. Wait, that's more than heartburn.
You're right. That pressure and bloating is gas.
And we don't treat gas. Not even me.
I do. This is a job for
Maalox Max.
fast heartburn plus gas relief in a soothing liquid. That's Maalox Max.
Max, glad you're working the lunch shift.
I work anytime. Maalox Max. When you have it all, treat it all.
It's time.
Let's go!
Awesome! Come on, come on!
I'm coming!
The one-day sale is here. Come in this Friday and save at Ace, the helpful place.
When it comes to preventing heart attacks, nobody knows more than doctors. So which brand of aspirin do doctors take to protect their own hearts? They take Bayer more than any other brand. Doctors know if you're at increased risk of a heart attack, Bayer low dose can significantly reduce your risk. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. And remember, no other brand prevents more heart attacks than Bayer. The more you know, the more you trust Bayer.
Severe storms that have dumped rain over Texas for days spun off deadly tornadoes there and in other southern states. One twister tore up homes in Slidell, Louisiana, and there was slipping and sliding in the Midwest, pounded by a heaping helping of snow, plus dangerous wind in the Windy City. Gusts high enough to push pedestrians around in Chicago. But the weather blast with nasty trimmings isn't the only problem facing Americans on the move for the holidays. CBS's Bob Orr gives you the inside story.
With a mix of snow, rain, and fog, tighter plane and train security, and larger than normal crowds, Thanksgiving travelers are facing a perfect storm of hassles.
We're going to have us a nice time, so we're going to take it at one moment at a time.
But it may not be easy. After a 3-year post-9/11 slump, travel is back. 37 million Americans will spend part of their holiday on the highways, and 16 million more will trudge through airports.
But overall, the expectation is that 2004 will surpass the year 2000 in terms of sheer volume, numbers of travelers.
Predictions of airport gridlock failed to materialize today. Passengers face some long lines, but only moderate delays from Los Angeles to Dallas, Atlanta, and Washington.
Smoother than I ever imagined.
But some passengers are protesting invasive physical searches. Since suicide bombers took down 2 Russian jets, U.S. security screeners have been ordered to look for hidden explosives.
And it was very humiliating. I almost started to cry there.
But security officials make no apologies.
Until we can get the technology, and we're working hard to deploy explosive detection technology to the passenger screening checkpoints, we're using good old-fashioned pat-downs.
Rail riders will escape pat-downs, but in light of the Madrid train bombings in March, Amtrak now does require passenger IDs.
Bring with you a little patience and have a great trip.
As for the highways, traffic is expected to build through the night, though motorists are smiling on the Pennsylvania Turnpike,
I think it's cool because it's the biggest travel day of the year.
where a toll taker's strike makes this a toll-free day. Bob Moore, CBS News, Washington.
A lot of Americans have a new home for the holidays. The government says new homes were selling in October at a near record pace. One reason, still low mortgage rates. A 30-year fix now averages 5.72%. Stocks closed higher today in pre-holiday trading. The Dow up 27, the Nasdaq 18. You're watching the CBS Evening News, and straight ahead, doctor-assisted suicide. One state permits it, but the Bush administration wants that changed. Eye on America gives you a hard look next.
This has been a family business for 5 generations. I learned a lot from my father over the years.
Listening is a very important part of running a family business. You listen, draw your inspiration from the consumer. Make certain we have products the consumer can see the difference in.
To make our products better, we have to listen to people who buy Glade or Windex or all of our products. Listening, that's how we come out with better products.
S.C. Johnson, a family company.
Whoa, honey.
What do you think it means?
Means we're going to Big Lots.
Big Lots is open Thanksgiving Day from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you can get a 6-foot pre-lit spiral tree just $7.99. These leather recliners are closeout priced at just $99.99 each, and Muscle Machines die-cast cars are closeout priced at just $9.99 each. Plus, the first 100 families through the door receive a free Westclox wall clock. Big Lots, brand names, closeout prices, happy holidays.
So long, ordinary toothbrush. Oral-B has created the new Professional Care 8000. It pulsates and oscillates to loosen plaque and sweep it away. Teeth get twice as clean and your whole mouth gets healthier. Why use anything else? The new Oral-B Professional Care 8000.
Want to know a secret? Some grown-ups don't eat all their vegetables. Some adults don't start their day with breakfast. And there are even some otherwise intelligent people who don't always eat right. For all of you, there's Ensure, a source of complete balanced nutrition loaded with food, energy, and 24 vitamins and minerals. So even if you don't always eat right, you can still eat smart. Drink Ensure in 5 irresistible flavors. It's nutrition for a healthier you.
If you have a cold and high blood pressure, you should know that decongestants in these medicines can raise your blood pressure. So why take them? Take decongestant-free Coricidin HBP, powerful relief that won't raise your blood pressure.
$120.90.
I'll just put it on the credit card.
But those rates.
Don't worry. I'll just put it on our Capital One Prime Lock card. Introducing the new Capital One Prime Lock card. It's set at prime so you never have to worry about your interest rate again.
What's in your wallet?
The man who shot President Reagan in 1981 will not be going to his parents' Williamsburg, Virginia home for Thanksgiving. A judge today denied John Hinckley Jr.'s request for unsupervised 4-day visits there. But the judge said Hinckley may continue to leave a Washington psychiatric hospital for a limited number of unsupervised overnight visits with his parents within the D.C. area. The past election underscored that this is, in many important ways, a nation divided on such issues as moral values. Under that heading comes this question: should a dying patient be allowed to end his or her life with a doctor's help? A CBS News New York Times poll finds Americans are now split almost evenly on that. A decade ago, supporters of doctor-assisted suicide led opponents by 11 points. Only in Oregon is assisted suicide legal, though there's a move in California to legalize it there, too. Bill Whitaker reports tonight's Eye on America.
It's been almost 4 years since Julie McMurtry's mother took her life.
The way she died was in a very loving way, oddly.
She calls it a gift from the people of Oregon, the right for her mother Peggy to end her life with drugs from her doctor when the pain of terminal lung cancer became unbearable.
When she reached for the medication, she said, "I don't think anyone has realized how much pain I've been in."
171 terminally ill patients like Peggy have chosen to end their lives since Oregon 5 years ago became the only state to legalize physician-assisted suicide.
I would not do that.
Still, Miles Edwards, who lives every day with the fear of dying from a return of pancreatic cancer, says physician-assisted suicide is morally and ethically wrong.
I don't want to be the agent of making it happen before it's meant to happen.
It might be tempting to reduce this to the familiar roles in America's ongoing morality play, people of deep religious faith versus secular humanists. But in this state, on this issue, it's just not that simple.
People across the political spectrum voted overwhelmingly for the law. And determined opponents like Dr. Kenneth Stevens don't have religious objections. He calls it a violation of his Hippocratic oath, murder, not medicine.
The role of medicine is to heal, is to take care of patients. It is not to kill them. And the act of writing a prescription is basically ordering a patient to die.
Now, as one of his last acts, Attorney General John Ashcroft has asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review the law to put Oregon in sync with the other 49 states.
Whose values, whose beliefs?
Victims' rights activist Barbara Coombs Lee says he's trying to impose a red state mindset on blue state Oregon.
It's not someone else's values and beliefs that should define the last few days of a person's life. It should be their own.
It's a debate about wrong.
When I die, I want it to be when it's my time to die.
And rights.
For her to be able to say goodbye, and how lucky is that? How could anyone begrudge her that?
In Oregon, the nation's deep political divide is deeply personal. In Portland, this is Bill Whitaker for Eye on America.
Tomorrow night on CBS, a nation divided over abortion. Some states are requiring that women be warned of a possible cancer risk from abortion. But is there one or not? Now, still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, have flippers will travel. Somehow this seal pup got way off course. Where it turned up and how it got there is next.
You've got to have heart, and he got a new one when he was just 1 month old. After all he's been through, this 9-year-old now gets to make a wish, to train to be an elite Army Ranger. Tomorrow, his wish comes true, and you're invited along to share the adventure on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
That new Windex is powerful stuff.
The best on glass is now even better. Introducing new Windex. With 30% more cleaning power than before, new Windex starts to work even before you wipe. For a streak-free shine, there's really no comparison.
A bird could get hurt flying into a window like that.
Tell me about it.
For a streak-free shine every time, new Windex is best on glass.
S.C. Johnson, a family company.
There is no safe cigarette. Light and ultralight cigarettes are no exception. To reduce the health effects of smoking, the best thing to do is to quit. At philipmorrisusa.com, you can find this and other information on the serious health effects of smoking, along with links to sites that can help smokers quit. For more, call or visit philipmorrisusa.com.
In the morning, colds can be draining, so wake up to non-drowsy Alka-Seltzer Plus. With a burst of effervescence, it's instantly ready to break up your worst cold symptoms fast. So you're not just relieved, you feel revived. Non-drowsy Alka-Seltzer Plus.
So long, ordinary toothbrush. Oral-B has created the new Professional Care 8000. It pulsates and oscillates to loosen plaque and sweep it away. Teeth get twice as clean and your whole mouth gets healthier. Why use anything else? The new Oral-B Professional Care 8000.
Cholesterol. It comes grilled, fried, slow-cooked, twice-baked, poached, and pureed. But it also comes from Mom, Dad, Grandma Ethel, and Grandpa Sam. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Today, there's Vytorin. When diet and exercise aren't enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin is a new product that treats the two sources of cholesterol. Cholesterol from food and the cholesterol your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin lowers bad cholesterol 45 to 60%. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Ask your doctor about new Vytorin. Your cholesterol comes from two sources. Treat them both with Vytorin.
Tomorrow. Coming up at 6, hundreds of Fort Campbell soldiers are off the hot seat and will be allowed to enjoy Thanksgiving with their families, but 7 are still under scrutiny. Details at 6.
This Thanksgiving Eve with a different kind of home for the holidays story. CBS's John Blackstone reports how some kind-hearted strangers helped a wayward youngster make her way back to where she belongs. Not the city by the bay, but the bay by the city.
The crowd that gathered to watch the police pursuit knew the stranger didn't belong in this neighborhood.
It's unusual. I can't figure out for the life of me how he managed to get this far.
Somehow, the determined creature with the big eyes had made its way up a concrete storm drain beneath the streets of Oakland, California.
Oh, I just love this little animal here.
The little animal is a 181-pound elephant seal pup, about a year old.
You tired, huh?
And some 2 miles from San Francisco Bay, where its unusual journey must have started. Firemen tried to turn the pup back downstream.
Come on, baby, keep it going.
But this was a youngster bound to go in the wrong direction. So reluctantly and carefully, it was taken into custody. This wayward elephant seal pup, so far from its home in the wild, seems to be part of a trend. Meandering marine mammals searching for adventure far from the seashore. Earlier this year, it was Chippy the sea lion who turned up in a farmer's field 100 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Like Chippy, the young elephant seal from the storm drain, now named Emmy, was brought to the Marine Mammal Center for a physical.
She's got good body weight, she's well hydrated, she's very alert for an elephant seal.
Doesn't look alert, she's sleeping.
This is about as alert as elephant seals get.
And now she's being taken back to the ocean and advised to stay there. John Blackstone, CBS News, San Francisco.
And that's part of our world. I'll be back shortly with 60 Minutes Wednesday. Selling magazines and making enemies. Stars controversial editor Bonnie Fuller. Plus singer Alicia Keys. 60 Minutes Wednesday, tonight at 8, 7 Central. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. See you again soon on 60 Minutes Wednesday.
For news 24 hours a day, click on cbsnews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Good jobs, good people, great opportunities. Come grow with us at Walmart. He wants to be an Army Ranger. Why he's getting his wish tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. It's going to be a happy Thanksgiving for hundreds of Fort Campbell soldiers.
This will be the first time in 2 years that they've got to spend the holidays at home with their families. But News Channel 5's Dana Kay reports for more than 100 of them that almost didn't happen.
Rifle fires a 5.56 millimeter round, same as the old M16A2.
This is the type of weapon that's been causing all the trouble, an M4 assault rifle. It disappeared November 10th and still hasn't been found.
It's still ongoing. We desperately want the weapon to be found, but we're very happy that the soldiers have been released.
Just knowing that I was going to be able, that was going to finish soon, and I was going to be able to see my wife soon, that was keeping my spirits up.
The Dyers are just happy to be going home together for Thanksgiving.
When he got to come home, I was happy. I know a lot of the other wives are happy too.
Now she's ready to cook.
Just to go home and cook so he can eat. Because he hadn't had a home-cooked meal in 2 weeks.
Soldiers say the past 2 weeks have been tough, with suspicion cast on everyone and plenty of peer pressure over the missing